come up, you going up.
Hi guys, Christina from City Bright Knits checking in with a January update. I hope you all had a happy holiday season, and now we are ready to get started with our new projects for the new year. So I hope you guys join me and get cozy for a minute while I talk to you about my new collaboration that I'm working on. I wanted to come on and show you, starting with the new year, some projects that I'm working on. I have an ongoing collaboration with a great company that I want to tell you about, and I've decided, now that I've worked with them for a few years now, to come on and show you the yarns, show you the new products, and show you what patterns I'm creating with them. Okay, the company that I work with pretty regularly for patterns is called Hobbii yarn. They are based out of Denmark, and I absolutely love their products. Perfect colors, great yarn textures for me. I have a few of my own patterns, like this Fluffy Love sweater that I'm wearing, on their website. You can find all that at hobbii.com. I will link it below for you. But I wanted to start from beginning to end and show you how I work with their yarns and about this new one that I'm using that is, I think, new to their line, and I'm going to be designing a new pattern for early spring with this yarn. So let's get started. The yarn that I am working with for this upcoming project is called Friends Cotton Silk. It's a wonderful textured weight. It's quite thin, quite light, but it does have this little almost tweed-like texture to it. It's a new yarn that I am trying. Hobbii has this Friends collection, which means that any yarn series past, if you go on their website, any yarn series that's under Friends, you can match up their colorways. So if you wanted to match this off-white color with another like kid silk or a cotton or something, you could go on to the Friends series and just put in the same colorway and you would have the matching colors. I'm sorry, marmalade has hopped up on the table here. So what the colors that I have chosen are a mix of 4 different colors. I have this green, lavender, light pink, and a white. And I'm planning on making a vest with this yarn. Here's a sketch of the vest that I'm currently jotting down some notes in my mind. It's a rough example of something that I saw in a store window that really caught my eye, and it's stuck with me for a few months now. And I know that when I got this yarn, I wanted to try to recreate this vest on my own. So what I have here is I've written down the challenge that I'm working on each month. Hobbii has a yarn challenge. This one is Magical Gardens. So it's all about these pastel floral colors. And the sketch I have in mind is just for a slip-over style vest. Here in London, I often need something for when the wind picks up and it's a little breezy. And if I don't want to have a heavy sweater on all day, I might wear a button down and want to put a vest over it. So that's what I have in mind for this. I've written down a little bit of the stitch pattern that I have in mind, as well as some circular granny square details that I intend on doing at the top. And over here, I just have a few notes of how I'm going to bring these stitches together. I recently worked a shawl pattern that gave me an idea for a stitch repeat, so that's where that is coming from. I want to move over to show you the swatches that I've already made using this beautiful yarn. And here are the colors that I'm using. It is Friends Cotton Silk from Hobbii. You can see the little textures that's in each strand. And here's the swatches that I've already started. I've decided between 2 different hooks, a 4mm and a 5mm. The swatches I made were in the 4mm. However, in a second I will show you, I might change my mind to the 5mm. So disregarding the colors and just looking at the swatch, I want to ask your opinion on what you think it should be. So this is just with a single strand of yarn. My intention is for the stitch pattern to be vertical. This will be the body of the piece, It's very beautiful. It's very lightweight. You can see the different stitch textures in it. You can see how thin it is, quite pliable. You would not get too hot wearing this. And that's how that looks with a 4mm crochet hook. The second swatch that I have made is with 2 colors put together, and it is the same stitch repeat. You can see how the 2 colors are worked together. This is a lot sturdier, a little thicker. I think if you wore this, it would feel more substantial as a garment on you. Still great stitch definition. I really like the swirl of the 2 colors together. I did make it in a 4mm, however, I am thinking to make it a little looser. I'm going to try the 5mm. That's what swatching is all about, to see what you like, what works better, to experiment. I did put them side by side and made with the same hook as a 4mm. The single strand is slightly smaller gauge than the 2 held together. From this angle, you can see that this is a little sturdier, a little thicker. This is a little looser, a little breezier. If I put them on top of each other, you can see even more how the 2 strands held together just adds a lot more chunk to the swatch, and maybe you can see the difference in the thickness and maybe in the pliability. So my question for you is, which should I continue forward with? Do you like the 2 strands held together, or do you like the single strand? Something that I am cognizant of is that for people who are going to be making this pattern, they are going to have to buy, double the yarn if I use 2 strands versus single if you just used 1. So that's my question to you all. Please comment below and let me know what your opinion is. So now that I showed you a little more about my swatches and my design, I want to talk to you a little more about the yarn. Also, each Hobbii label comes with a really easy to read and identifiable tag to let you know all about the yarn. It's very inclusive of all the information. It even has a QR code so that if you wanted to scan to see the Friends line or to find this yarn, you could easily do that without forgetting what you ordered. As well as it tells you that this is made of 78% cotton and 22% silk. This is a 50-gram ball, which is 120 meters. This is also a light 3. It's quite light. If I had to guess that this was a 3, I would say maybe working with it feels more like a 2, but it is a 3 because it's a little more ply to it. But it is a very light 3, let me tell you that. Knitting and crochet, it recommends a 5mm. I think also just with my experimenting on my own, I would also agree 5mm for the 2 strands held together. I found 4mm perfectly fine for the single strand crochet. I think if it was 5mm, it would be just as pretty. It would just be a little looser, bigger holes. So I'm really excited to be using this yarn. I wanted to show you my first impressions, my first thoughts. So far, I'm really liking it. It doesn't shed. It's not knotted up in any way. It's been really easy to work with. It has a really nice luster or a little sheen to it. I think it'll make a really pretty garment. I wanted to pop on and show you what I'm working with Hobbii, show you my new design, and as I develop this, I hope to show you more. I plan to have it done maybe within the month, maybe at the end of February, and I hope you follow along and give me a shout out below.